It is Sunday, January 27th, 10:23 p.m. Now, how much radiation would it take the perpetrators to... Or let me rephrase that. How much radiation would it take to obtain microwave hearing? And then how much radiation would it take to for the perps to actually see out of your eyes? And how long? What's the process? From my experiences, the microwave hearing process, the way it was done to me was, the hearing process took about 3 years, and once the hearing was in effect, I actually skipped town for a little while, and then they must have unplugged, because after about a day and a half, it just went away. Now, when they unplug, your body still has that low current electricity running through it. I was gone for 40 days or so. And when I returned, which I never should have returned, to the same residential area, it took them... I knew right away when they started charging me with the EMP generators. It took them about 2 weeks to get the hearing back to where it was before I left. And then after that, it was really, really quick, because they were dosing me with radiation. I mean, it was 24/7. It was weird because the doses changed after they were able to see out of my eyes. The doses changed, kind of went back down. They were more sporadic before they were actually able to view what I view. I think it was after the hearing, it was a week or two, maybe at the most, maybe less, a few days. I remember when they were doing it, though, because it was after work. I think I was walking inside the house, and one of the perpetrators, she says, we are you. We are your clone. We're clones. And I just kind of what? Because up until that time, I only researched microwaves and everything that comes before that. I didn't really research the process, or actually, how it's done. So it caught me blindsided. She said, "We are your clone," and it's not AI. It was a real person, and she's still. She's not in the program. She dropped out in December 2016, 17. And she said, "We are you. We can see what you see." And I don't know if she said we can hear what you hear. Probably. So ever since, it's been late June of 2017 up until now, to the present day, they have been able to see what I see. Which, there's stipulations. I mean, obviously the perps are going to say it's legal. Okay, if you're able to just walk into the doctor, or walk, I don't know, kind of like a drug addict goes to get drugs. He goes to an alley in a bad part of town and he picks up his drugs. If you're able to go to a certain spot to obtain these different eyes, or these contacts, let's say, I don't know, I'm just making this up, and then all of a sudden, boom, there's other people that can see what you see, that would be a lot different than what I deal with, because there would be, it might be legal, it might not be legal, but there's not really a crime being committed as long as it's approved and whatnot, and that's the made-up way that I just explained. Now, the way they do it with me is no joke. I mean, yeah, they say, oh well, it's legal, but it's not, because in order for them to see what I see, it's everything up until that point, which is a nightmare, which is traumatizing, which is torture, which is hell, which is something that's you know, honestly, everything that I've been going through is almost like a cancer patient, probably worse. But so it takes loads of radiation on your body that is beamed on you from outer space. It sounds funny, it sounds far-fetched, but it's a satellite that they have control of, and it douses you with radiation all day long. So it's illegally, obviously you can't, legally you cannot, legally you cannot shower someone with radiation purposely. It would be an involuntary torture. Obviously, that's what it is. And it's loads of radiation on your body, more than a cancer patient would go through under chemo. A ton more, loads more. And they do it in stages, but it's so all that, all of the whole process that they have to do in order to obtain the vision is it's illegal. And the only part of the country I know that is legal in, maybe, is in Northern Europe. And it's like, it's funny because when you tell this story to people that aren't dealing with what you deal with or aren't experiencing what you experience, they just laugh. And it's like, yeah, it's far-fetched, because when something's far-fetched, I don't know, it could be funny, but I mean, it's serious, you know. And the radiation is no joke. Whether they douse you with like a low dose with low sensitivity, I mean, you can't really feel it up until like the end of the day, because that's what they do at first. So okay, so their present day. Let's go back actually to 2017, end of June. Let's say that was the present day, so they can see what I see now, right? So you wake up every morning, and these perps, there's 4 of them, and time to get up. It's like, Bethany Olson, I said her name, Bethany Olson, and she actually went to Poly High School, graduated 2017, maybe. If I'm wrong, I apologize. And she'd be the wake-up call, and right away, like, you don't really feel it. You're just like, whatever. And it's like, then they start their torture. They start their involuntary, everything's involuntary. Their process of gaining your thoughts, of your feelings, the thoughts and feelings. I'm not sure how they did it. I think it was, I don't know, they didn't do one first. The thoughts and the feelings were, I guess, coincide. But, so it was low doses. I remember feeling at the end of the day, I was so tired, but I didn't feel pain at that point. It was like every 3 months they would step it up. But in between that, they would randomly do, like, they would turn the sensitivity up, which would feel like higher sensitivity, more of like a needle point. Lower sensitivity, it floods your body. They would get you like, ow, like, all of a sudden you feel like a bee sting or something on your ear, anywhere on the body, or even worse. And at first I had no idea what it was. I thought, damn, I just got stung by a bee, or something else happened, a spider bit me. But what it is, it's their radiation that they are, you know, zapping you with. And those are the ones that are more torturous. It's all torture, but the ones where where it hurts physically, like they can give you a Charlie horse in the back of your neck. They can fucking break your bone. They can pop your fucking bone out of socket. Your tendons can get fucked up. I mean, it's already enough with the radiation. With that high of radiation, your tissue and your skin starts to deteriorate, which I deal with now. Meaning what happens is, like, you get colder, like, faster. It could be like 80 degrees out, and you'll kind of, you know, sometimes I'll be shivering. So your body temperature, right, goes down, drops, and So it seemed like every 3 months or so, like they would step it up. And then when I start to feel it, I started feeling it to where it was like, fuck, this sucks. Like my skin started getting burned. Like right around, I don't know, like maybe 6 months to 8 months into it, you start seeing like the darkness of the skin. At first, I thought it was like the heat, but I remember it was right before spring. It wasn't that hot. But I have pictures showing me in June of 2017, and then in like August or September. The summer was hot that year, and I must have a 9-day difference. But then after that, towards the end of the year in wintertime, I gained weight again a little bit, and my skin kind of cleared up. So that's what was weird, because I think what it was at that point, they were starting to do pulsing more, because the pulsing, like I remember one day I'm mowing the lawn, I look up and my fingers from here to the top, where's my music at? It felt like someone tied a string around it, and the circulation was cut off and was white. But they didn't say anything to me. They were just like, and it started getting white, really white, and then finally he let go of it, and it was numb for like a week. And I still don't have full feeling in it. And that was the work of Brett Bittner. So, which he ended up dropping out. He's still in charge. I don't know what he does now, but he's a perpetrator. But he stopped at the same time Beth Nielsen stopped, and they left the rest of the work to the two perps that are still there. Actually, no, one of them's still there. So now they're starting to speak, and it's going to alter my speech. So December of 2017, man, all the stuff they talked about was just nuts. The first week, I remember, let's go back. The first week, he said, well, eventually what's going to happen is our main goal is for us to speak out of your brain. I was like, what the heck? Thinking to myself, like, no way. They didn't really tell me. They didn't tell me about the gaining of the thoughts, or the stealing of your thoughts, until like a year into it. All I know is they would always be like, okay, like, how do you feel when this happens? Or like, what feeling did you just have? And lo and behold, what they were doing was robbing my feelings and stealing my thoughts. Which, what it does is that's how they are able to pair or to clone. Because pretty much when you feel a certain way on their systems, it reads out as numbers. I remember one of them telling me, what you are is you're just number. You're numbers. Your whole body consists of numbers. And that's how they read it on their end, on their systems. And so when it gets up to a certain number, it could be good or bad. Now, the bad would be, obviously, when you have a bad feeling, when it's involuntary, they'll pulse you. And then they'll speak, and they'll say, I want to be nervous, I want to be nervous. They'll pulse your heart. And then your level goes down. And obviously, a good feeling would be they would pulse it up. And after, like, I think right before the end of 2017, they were able to, they could involuntarily make me smile, make me sad. They pulse my nose, make me have a runny nose. They can make me cry. At that time, it was like a big achievement for these sick perpetrators that are still, but at that time that were doing all this. You could just be walking or driving, and all of a sudden you start tearing at the eye, and you can't figure out why. You feel it coming on, and it's like, what the heck? And then you know, it's like, fuck. And they can make you feel happy, they can make you feel sad, depressed, nervous, nauseous by irradiating you in the stomach or in the chest. They can make you throw up. They can give you headaches by pulsing you in the head. And usually they'll do it on my if you're looking at me on my right side. Migraines, which before the microwave hearing, I'd wake up in the middle of the night having like really bad what I thought were migraines, and lo and behold, what they were doing was they were pulsing my fucking head. And I would take like 4 Motrin 800s or 600s, and it still wouldn't help it. So whenever they stopped, that's when it went away. Yeah, so it's pretty crazy. So we're right at like January 2018. And I remember that's when I had gotten a relationship with a special person, actually, I want to say. Tara Sherlock, which December of 26 was. So come the new year, it was I didn't say nothing to her, and then February came around and I let her know what was going on, but I didn't tell her everything, which I should have. I told her like 85% of what was going on, and she actually took it well. I felt comfortable explaining what was going, or what had happened in my past, and you know, and so forth. And I shouldn't actually get into the relationship thing. That's going to be in the next recording, so that will be some other time. And they speak, and they speak, and they speak, and it alters my speech just a little bit.